What's up, y'all? It is the Concise King, and welcome back to yet another Apex Legends video. Some more Apex Legends Season 6 content for your head top, and I thank you guys for tuning in. Now, y'all, we are diving into yet another defensive legend. Now, I told you guys from the top of my channel, I'm going to be covering all of the defensive legends who do not have dip out capabilities. Just makes for a better lesson, a better challenge, and a better learning, guys. Now, today we have finally, after covering a good amount of the defensive legends, we have made our way finally to the defensive legend herself, y'all. Now, you know the name. Season 6 recently added. If you let her put up her shield, she is the baddest. You guys are watching and tuning into my Apex Legends Season 6 Rampart guide. Let's get it. Now, you guys are probably tapping into today's video for a couple reasons, right? One, you don't know how to use Rampart. Or two, you do know how to use Rampart, but you think she's ineffective, considering your deploy shields never see the time of day. Three, you don't really gravitate towards LMGs, so they're a bit irrelevant to you. Four, maybe you feel like Rampart creates degrees of separation between you and your team, leaving you guys disadvantaged, which is very true. And or five, anytime you use Sheila, you die. Yeah, I think I covered a good amount. I think I did. I mean, you just die. And listen, y'all, I can relate. And because I can relate, I thought I'd bring you guys a simple, basic, yet effective guide for Rampart, right? We're gonna go through her capabilities and all her skill sets. Of course, the basic of that, of course, no doubt. But with each ability, I'm gonna show you guys how you can better create time so that you can better execute with her undervalued skills. Yeah, I said it, undervalued. Now, if you feel like, damn, King, that's exactly what I keep running into playing Rampart, go ahead and drop a thumbs up for me. I'm actually thinking about doing an extended tips and tricks for Ramparts guide because there's just so much to learn to her. Now, if you guys can't stay for the whole video, if you feel like you learned something along the way and you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop that like for me, guys. And if you guys want to see me work my way up from the ground floor to the top with you, just like you, trying to get those badges, trying to be the best Apex player that I can be, go ahead, hit the subscribe button for me with more content coming soon, y'all. With love, of course. Now, without further ado, just had to get all that out of the way, all that stuff. Let's get right into it. Rampart. Let's start with her tactical, which is her amped cover. And this amped cover basically starts off as a crouch wall cover, which then transforms into a full-blown wall cover. And it blocks incoming shots, and it allows you to, and it actually amplifies your outgoing shots for both Rampart and her teammates. Now, guys, this is something that we've been praying for since we've seen a shield on the likes of a Gibby and a lifeline. You know, we've been praying to be able to just return damage through the shield without having to move away from the shield. You know what I mean? So this, really, guys, we've been praying for a legend that can deal damage and take cover from damage. That's an undervalued skill, I have to say. Now, this amp cover is pretty sturdy, pretty resilient. It does have health life, and it does have about 2 different kinds of health life. So the bottom portion of it, the base, has a health life of about 400. It can take 400 damage, while the top portion is the weakest. It has about 175 damage. And so that's important to know. Your base is usually going to be the one that's sturdy enough to just stick around. And on top of that, you can lay out about 3 of them at a time. They're referred to as charges. And in between, if they are shot out, if they are destroyed as they are building up, there is a 30-second cooldown time. 30 seconds may not seem like a lot of time, but it really is, especially when you're in the midst of a fight. I'll say another thing to keep in mind, say you're putting up your shield, it's getting shot at. It is important to know that you can retract these shields. You can pick up these shields. Now, you put a shield up, you let it fully build up, and then your top portion, your amplified portion, gets shot out. Now you want to retract that shield. It will not count as a perfectly usable shield already in your inventory to use. Sadly so, it does have to charge up as a 30-second cooldown time, again, because it was damaged. So now that we know there's vulnerability to this shield and that there's a chance that you are yourself going to be vulnerable if it is shot out, you want to protect it as much as possible. Let's talk about the interaction of this shield. What can destroy it? What can take it out? Of course, Caustic's gas traps, of course, Crypto's EMP, and since the patch notes and the notes in general have been released since Season 6, arc stars, grenades, thermites, you are just encouraged to just throw them and lob them at Rampart's deployment. Her amped covers, it just wipes them out completely. Of course, you can melee the shield. Any and everything basically will do. And that kind of brings me to why many players are finding Rampart to be so difficult, or finding her to be so difficult to get into and just wield, because the second that you put up that shield, you go to put up that amp cover, especially in the midst of battle, it doesn't even see the time of day, and your enemies know that, and they know that they cannot give you that window. And so you guys have to be mindful in this tactical, using this tactical, when you are running a Rampart, everyone's going to treat you like a Gibby. They're gonna treat you like a caustic. They're gonna treat you like a huge weapon on the team. Like, I have to take you out first because there's so much defense I have to get to infiltrate you, and I don't wanna work that hard. So I'm gonna shoot out all of your amp covers before they even see the time of day. You guys have to keep that in mind when you are the tank on your team, when you are on the machine, when Rampart is the machine. She's so susceptible to dying first. And so y'all, here's my tip to working her amped cover to the best of its ability. Be ahead of the game. When you're playing a Rampart, when you're playing any kind of defensive legend, you have to be ahead of the game. Going into a building, you need to set up a shield, especially in front of doors, in front of stairways. If you just ended a fight, you need to set up a shield. If you're going into a fight, you need to set up a shield. Guys, you're only going to see Rampart work to the best of her ability if you allot yourself the time to set up your defense, guys. It's gotta work like that. But King, what if I don't have time to do that? What if I'm right there in the midst? What if I want to be in the midst of the fight there with my teammates and not over there setting up Sheila and leaving us at a disadvantage? Cool. Then what I say to that is, you have to set up a distraction. And so if you're in a duos match, if that's you by yourself, you need to lay down that shield and you need to be returning fire so that when that amplifier comes up, you're already returning fire. And it can be even better if you're laying your shots down. If you're doing some damage to them, that'll stop them from shooting your shield when it's most fragile. If it can't be you, if you can't do the fire, maybe while your team is taking on the fire, you need to be setting up shop, setting up Sheila. It's all about staying ahead of the game, and that's the only way you'll get a grip on these defensive legends. It really is. And so to play a legend who is Rampart is to play a legend who has to play ahead of the game as well as any other defensive legend. Let's talk about this passive though, because this passive I think could use some work and some kind of patch note, right? There needs to be some kind of extension with this baby. Her passive is called Modded Loader. And so Modded Loader is basically an extension of heat and magazine capacity as well as faster reloading, but only when Rampart is using LMGs and her ultimate, which is Sheila. Only when she's using LMGs. And so also with these LMGs, there's a 5 bullet increase between the mags when you were putting them on these LMGs. I wish there was, but there really isn't too much to her passive, right? I'll leave you guys with this tip for the passive. If you were thinking to run 2 L stars, which is a good idea, there is a cooldown, of course. There is a fast reload, of course, because it is a light machine gun. But you are able to, when running a Rampart, you are able, due to her passive, to bypass that cooldown time by just a simple and very quick swap of your weapon. But right before it gets to that animation where you have to reload, so you bursting that baby out right as that red bar is about to, like, you know, extend out, you just want to swap it real quick with that passive. And once you store the L star that got to that critical point, you can take it out just 1 second later and it is already and good to go. That's a nice tip for running her passive. Something I'm looking forward to using this passive that I feel like kind of holds us back a little bit is I do oftentimes forget that she does not have a fast reload on just all the guns. It's just LMGs. I would love to see that kind of worked in. I think that's just a capability she should just have all around. Being able to just fastly reload, you know, it makes sense. She worked on Sheila. It's her minigun. It's classified as a light machine gun, so she has that capability to just, why not just make it all around for all the weapons? That's something I would like to see, and that is what I leave you with her passive. Now let's get into this ultimate ability. Her in-placed minigun, her infamous sidekick, also known as Sheila. And this turret is mounted. It's high fire rate, high power rate with a low reload speed, guys, but it fires off about 20 bullets per second. So she's very reliable. She gets the job done, of course. And keep this in mind too, guys. The cooldown time on this ultimate ability is 120 seconds, y'all. 120, so that's just 2 minutes. And Respawn Studios really made this gun. They designed it in a way that not only can Sheila have one, but with 2 minutes of a cooldown time, your whole team can have a freaking Sheila. You know what I mean? And that kind of brings me on to who can use Sheila. Your teammates, enemies, you kind of want to treat Sheila, if you're not going to use her, you want to treat her like Loba's Market. You know, anyone can use it, anyone can destroy it. It does have a health of about 350. It can take 350 of damage, but it can be destroyed, guys. So just keep that in mind. You know, people really see her as undervalued, but if I have an ultimate that it's only rechargeable for 2 minutes and both of my teammates can use it so we can rock out together, nah, man, you guys are really undervaluing. You're really undervaluing Sheila. You're undervaluing Rampart. You're undervaluing her capabilities. Like, she is super awesome, guys. It just takes a little strategy to wield her, but nonetheless, Sheila also has unlimited ammo. with a magazine, a capacity of 173 bullets, courtesy of, thank you, Loaded Modder. And on top of that, she has a zoom configuration that you can configure, a zoom toggle that you can configure with your sprint button of about 1 to 3x zoom, guys. And what I would like to see a little improved on that, maybe, I'm asking for a lot here, what if we had a digital threat on that baby? My God, I mean, I was using Sheila the other day and I was shooting against a Bangalore smoke and I was like, God, I can zoom in, but if I could just see through that smoke. This, I mean, guys, go ahead and undervalue her if you want. I'll use her. I'll use you, Rampart. I'll use it. I got you, baby. So let's talk about the animations of Sheila, also known as the cons of Sheila, the negatives, guys. Alright, so once you mount Sheila, of course there's going to be that animation of, hey, I'm using my ultimate just as everyone else. But you can only begin firing and using Sheila if you are zoomed in. After you zoom in, there is an additional 2-second animation delay for the barrel of Sheila to start spinning. Then once those barrels start spinning, you are good to release out all the pain and the anger that you want while using Sheila. Maybe it's fun for you. Another thing I wanted to note on top of using Sheila, when you start to fire off, there of course is going to be a lot of sporadic motion and it's going to take a little bit for you to contain Sheila. But just know that's just from her high fire rate. It is doing a lot of damage, but it eventually will become a very smooth fire rate for you to be able to control. Like I said, Sheila can 100% be destroyed, but she has about 350 health, so that should do just a good amount of time for you to just get some shots off, get some damage off, down a few people while you're at it, if you're able to contain her in such a way. Now Sheila also has a reload animation of about a good 4 to 5 seconds. However, this reload animation is so much more reduced versus if anybody else was doing it. Thank you again, courtesy of Loaded Modder, her passive, of course. So you can see how that passive plays a lot into Sheila and into Rampart's capabilities, of course. And for my tip for Sheila for using her ultimate ability, what can I leave you guys with? Oh, let's talk about this. You're using Sheila, boom, 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 boom. Now you have that 4 to 5 second reload time. And this works for if you're playing Sheila or if you're playing against Sheila. You need to make that first clip. You have unlimited ammo when it comes to using Sheila. You need to make that first round of fire. You need to make it count because that reload time, it is a pretty long. And what I noticed about playing against a Sheila is that when she is reloading, because that weapon is so powerful, because she most likely will have her amped cover up, because she's so hard to infiltrate, those 4 to 5 seconds of reloading time, that is your time to attack. And if you're playing Sheila, if you're playing Rampart and Sheila at the same time, you need to know that's your time to be most vulnerable. You are most vulnerable. They can shoot out your amp cover. They can definitely shoot out Sheila. Hey, champion. But you need to know that you are left super vulnerable and that people are going to try to push you even more when you are having that reload time of about 4 to 5 seconds. Guys, check me out. This is really all I have for today's guide. Very basic, simple fundamentals, beginner tips and tricks for learning how to play Rampart. Use her effectively. You know, especially because she is a legend. You have to take your time with her. Another defensive legend. You have to take your time. You have to move to the speed of where the action is going. You know what I mean? People use a Rampart, a Watson, a Caustic for those end games. So you have to get them to the end of the game. Get them somewhere where they can set up. Play to their capabilities, guys. I hope you guys learned something today. In all these videos that you saw, in these clips, how I use Sheila, I was laying down my defenses. I was laying down my amps covers. I was creating that degree of separation with me, and I was doing it while staying there with my team, if not ahead of my team. That's another little tip if I wanted to throw that in there. Staying ahead of your team, of course, ahead of the game, but setting up shop so that maybe if your team gets flushed, they have somewhere to come take cover. And hopefully that somewhere that they're coming to take cover, Sheila's already nice and set up. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And I also want to mention at the end of all of my videos, I have been putting, and I've been forgetting to mention, at the end of all of my videos, I've been putting additional gameplay footage that have gone on to be some dubs. So if you guys have some time, go ahead and stick around. There's another one at the end of this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have a feedback goal of this video I like to propose of 8 likes. Can we get 8 likes on this video? Let's see if we can do it. I reached my last goal on my Caustic video. I reached my goal on my Gibraltar video. Let's see if we can keep it going. 8 likes on this video, and I also want to propose if we can rack up 30 subscribers by the end of this week. Right now I believe I'm at 21. Can we do it? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Just believe, baby. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Apex Legends Season 6 guide. I will see you guys next week in a couple days, actually, with another video, some more Apex Legends Season 6 content. Thank you for tuning in. The Concise King. Peace, love on one another. Reach out, take care of one another. 1.
Attention.
Very awesome.
First blood.
This one's free, remember that. We took first blood. Wish I could see the look on their boats.
Thanks for having my back. Round 1. Beginning ring countdown. Attention, the champion has been eliminated.
A champion just fell. They must not be very good.
Healing. Watch my back.
Give me a sec. Healing. Right in front of me. They ain't much. Firing.
Target spotted.
Reloading. Last one in the squad. We clean up good.
Give me a sec. Recharging shield.
Grappling. Fire. Enemy taken down. Reloading. Look out, grenade. Oh no, there is an air.
Spotted. Double time.
Tossing up some amped cover.
Spotted. Double time.
It's Sheila. Don't worry. Better call your moms. Gonna need some cordling.
Enemy down.
Top of the chimney.
Suck it.
The enemy.
Take fire. Old Penguin's knocking at the door. I'm down. Wait a minute.
Enemy taken down. Reloading.
I hear you. I hear you.
Opening fire on the enemy. Lucky us, we are already in. I am taking fire. I am down. Contact with target.
Putting up some amped cover. Nah, you good. Up and at 'em.
Let's go this way.
Throwing arc star. Frag out. They're in the chimney.
Amped cover for you, mates. Nah, you good. Up and at 'em.
Either way. They got me. I'm down.
Repairing.
Nah, you good. Up and at 'em.
CLZ. Optics here. Close range. Highlights your enemies. Round 3. Beginning ring countdown.
Enemy over there. Just waiting to be stepped on. Any takers?
Setting up a zipline.
This way sound good? Two enemy squads left. If you haven't been pulling your weight, don't try now. We're on a roll.
Enemy over there.
Tossing up some amped cover.
Let's explore this way.
Rings close. Got
Using grapple.
backing up my cover.
Enemy spotted.
45 seconds. Ring ain't far at all.
Give me a sec. Recharging shield.
Putting up some amped cover.
The ring is nearby.
One in the distance. Doesn't look too scary, so you can come out of hiding.
Might be something good this way.
Took down an enemy. Right, 10 seconds.
I am taking fire, friends.
Amped cover for you, mates. Amped cover for you, mates.
Incoming care package.
Got that one over there.
Only one other squad left, friend. Let's win.
Fool spotted.
Hostile spotted. Enemy down.
Heads up. Dropping the plane.
Enemy here.
Reloading.
Getting shot at.
Round 4.
Took down an enemy. Tossing a flag. Throwing thermite. Reloading. Charging my shields. Getting shot at.
Round 4.
Took down an enemy. Tossing a flag. Throwing thermite. Reloading. Charging my shields.
You are the Apex Champions.